Stop waiting. Just start. You clicked on this video, and it's a very broad statement, but you're probably thinking of something specific in your life that you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's something that you're planning, you're waiting for a certain thing to happen before you start it. And I'm telling you now, just start. Okay? I don't know what it is, but you've been warned. Like, you need to start. Okay? A person who acts without planning is far better off than a person who plans without acting. Okay? I want you to imagine someone who doesn't really have a plan for their life, but they're working, they're picking up side jobs, side hustles, they're doing like Uber Eats, they're doing like extra little things online or whatever every day. They have no real plan for their life, but they're just doing it. Like, they're just working hard and they're just learning things and whatever. That person is going to be way better off in 10 years than someone who has a plan. They have the perfect business plan. They're planning which allies they're going to bring in, which friends they're going to bring in, where they're going to get funding and everything, and they just don't start. Right? Because they're waiting for conditions to be perfect. They're waiting for market conditions to be perfect. Okay, now that example probably doesn't apply to you, but you get the message I'm trying to get across, right? For me, I can tell you something that I've had to like do that for me like in the last like 6 months, and it's this YouTube channel, right? I don't know what it was. I started making. It was 2 years ago, when I just learned that like making content online is just do it. Like, people just need to start doing it. Like, if you can captivate attention and get like an audience, you can actually like get like a career out of it or something like that. I had no idea what I wanted to do, right? I was waiting for like the perfect little thing, and I just decided, okay, I'm gonna start an Instagram account because I know Instagram, and this is before like Reels were like really popping, so I was still using like pictures. And I was like, well, what am I interested in? And I was like, okay, I'm interested in football, right? And then I was like, okay, I don't want to make like a generic like football account. There's too many of those. What am I really, really interested in right now? And then I was like, fantasy Premier League, right? And then I just started an account, right? And then I came up with an idea to like start like what is it? It was so obviously in fantasy Premier League you have it's a fantasy team, but then I made one that was going to be voted for by people that follow me, right? By the followers. So I was like, let me just start it, right? I had 0 followers. I was just like, let me just start. Okay, then I started, and I took it. I think a year later I was sitting at like 4.5k, which it's decent. But then the thing is, literally 3 months into like making that account, like I was enjoying it. Then I was like, okay, that's when I started thinking about making self-improvement content. Then I was like, okay, let me make a self-improvement. But again, I still had no idea what I was doing with that. I was like, what should I do? What exactly am I going to do, right? Am I going to like sit there and talk to the camera or whatever? And I was like, nah, okay, let me just start. I just started. I remember my current account, my Gideon MJ7 account that I have on Instagram. It started off as like the fit eater, right? Like I had to come up with like an idea, and I was like, okay, let me just make, what do I like, right? I'm into fitness and I like food. Let me just make like a fitness food account. I don't know. And then I quickly like switched. I was like, no, let me make like a motivation account, right? Because with the food things, I was like, I'm not competing with these people. Like, you have a bunch of like, you have all these women who like know how to cook. They know like the perfect recipes and everything. They have money to like buy like strawberries and all this crap, and they make it look aesthetic. I was like, I'm not competing with that. And I'm not like really like that into that. I just like food, basically. So let me do motivation, right? And again, even with that, I didn't know where to start. I remember the way I started was, I learned you could just like repost videos. You could repost. You literally repost like motivation, like videos that you find. Like, you can just download them on like some website and then you re-upload them. And I was like, okay, I'll start with that. And I was like, okay, let me do, because that's when Reels started popping. And then I was like, okay, I'll do 3 of those a day. And I was like, okay, let me add one more that I do for myself, that I make by myself. And it was a simple one. You can actually like scroll back if you want to scroll far enough. I post a lot. It was me like just doing, I remember I was doing Russian twist. I was doing mountain climbers or whatever it was. It was just a 7-second clip of me like just doing an exercise. And I just put like a generic motivation quote on top of that. And I just started. And that's how I got the wheel rolling. And then eventually I was like, okay, this is at the start of last year now. It was I was 6 months into making my fantasy Premier League account. I was like, okay, I'm not like, I wasn't like enjoying it too much. I was enjoying the motivation account more. And then I was like, okay, let me ramp up on this. And I started getting the hang of it. And now I've gotten like quite successful on that account. And eventually I was like, okay, I don't really like the fantasy Premier League accounts. I just dropped it. It's still there, but I just don't post on it anymore, right? But I started, right? And I learned like those first 3 months before, or the first 6 months, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was learning the trade. And then eventually I started like ramping up my content, and I started like getting followers and stuff. And even with YouTube, again, with this YouTube channel, like I started it about 6 months ago. again, I never really wanted to like do YouTube. I was like, I don't want to do all the editing and all that stuff. I'm not an editor, right? Like that was the biggest thing that was putting me off. I was like, I'm just too lazy to do that, and I really don't want to do that. But then I was like, I was watching like obviously watching like Hamza content and that sort of thing, and then I was watching First Man, and I was like, First Man just sits down with his camera and his mic and his setup and everything, and he just talks. He doesn't edit. He doesn't do anything. He just talks. And I was like, you know what? I love self-improvement. I know a lot about self-improvement. I've been doing this for like years. I've just been like consuming the content. I was like, I have stuff I can like help people with. So let me just sit there. I was like, let me take my phone, like this phone that I have, and just record a video and just post it. And I started, and now it's just getting better and better. I'm still not doing any editing. I'm not interested in editing. I want to figure out how to do this without like editing, because I really hate editing, and I don't want to hire like editors and all that. But you know, like just start, right? Now that probably like applies to a small portion of you guys, right? But the message is the same. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's something in your life that you want to start, but you just haven't started for whatever reason. I'm telling you now, start. I get a lot of messages from people on my Instagram account. People are like, oh, how do I start? People will be like, I get some people who are like, oh, how do I start making money? I'm like, dude, there's so many videos online. Just search them and do them, right? Just search them and just figure out what you like and just start. Okay, and this is the kind of message that is set out in like, if you do like search up about like, oh, how to start a business and that sort of thing, people do say just start. But the one I get the most is fitness. Like, how do I start working out? I'm like, bro, just start. Okay, I know you don't have the equipment, I know you don't have all of this. That's how I started. I started at home. I was just doing like, again, I speak about this so many times. YouTube it's such an extensive resource. Like you've got so many things you need there. Like just search, okay? I started with like 10-minute workouts. I started with like 10-minute like push-up workouts to like work out my chest and that sort of thing. And I started upgrading. And they're 45-minute workouts. You can literally this time last year, okay, I have weights. My sister bought weights, but you don't even need weights. But my sister did buy me weights, which helped a lot. And this time last year, I had a workout routine. I was working out 6 days a week in my garage. And I'd put on the YouTube video. There's a YouTube video. This guy called Midas. He's called Midas. He has like 45-minute like workout routines, like proper leg day routines, push pull legs basically. And I did that 6 times a week. I just started, okay, and just start, because I can tell you this now: the procrastination keeps going on and on and on and on, and eventually, before you know it, it's gonna be 10 years from now, and you're gonna be like, damn, my life is still the same. I haven't actually done anything, right? And you don't want to be that guy. Trust me. Just start, okay? Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I've got more videos like this, more motivational videos, self-improvement videos. This is the channel for like young men to learn about self-improvement. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. And until next time, I'll see you boys.